To the surprise of absolutely nobody, they ended up banning e-bikes down in the South Bay. Now, I want to be clear. I think they're just banning e-motos because if they banned e-bikes, there would be like a huge uproar. So there's a new video from KTLA or Fox or somewhere. It's kind of like a big story. I don't know if they're trying to force this story is what I kind of feel like is the case because it just doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Then again, I haven't actually been down there. I kind of want to go down there and check it out, kind of just like be there for a couple hours, see if I run into any e-moto hooligans running up on me and, you know, riding too close to me or whatever the case is. It seems like that's the majority of the issue of what's going on. It's just kids on e-bikes riding too close to people. And, you know, the thing about South Bay is that everyone there is really rich. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just like, hey, slow down, you youngsters. And then the kids slow down and they're like, you know, F you or whatever. I actually don't know. But there's another video we're going to check out. So this is from KTLA. I watched this video the other day with the kid on the Stark Varg doing a rolling burnout. Apparently he got his bike back. That's what I heard from sources. So he ended up getting his bike back. He probably just paid an impound fee or something. And I'm sure they're going to make him register it. But he kind of was like used as the scapegoat for this entire thing because the bike he's on is like a $14,000 electric dirt bike. And they used him as the example because they had a clip of him doing this right here. He did like a crazy rolling burnout through a mural and left a huge tire mark. They didn't like that. So the latest update out in Hermosa Beach, this is specifically where they are creating this law or ordinance. Not exactly sure how they're referring to it, but we're going to watch this video from KTLA and see what the update is on the e-bike hooligans in the South Bay. Keep in mind, the last video we watched was only a week ago. So in the span of 1 week, they have created this ordinance and passed it in one day, overnight, actually.
A crackdown is coming for people who use off-road electric bikes in Hermosa Beach. Leaders passed an ordinance last night aimed at controlling their use on city streets. KTLA's Megan Tellis live.
Good morning, Jess. Yeah, that urgent ordinance meeting was held last night. It didn't wrap until nearly 10 o'clock in the evening.
So they had a meeting, an emergency meeting at night that went until 10:30. So that means the most diehard members of the city council and probably just residents were there, because they were like, hey, we're having an emergency meeting about e-bikes. Come if you're interested. And I'm sure everybody showed up. I wish there was video of that.
I just got off the phone with the city clerk's office, and they are emailing me over that city ordinance that went into effect. And we're told immediately, starting now. So I'll go over that with you coming up in the next hour.
Another thing, they don't actually say what the ordinance is, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's just like a ban on e-motos, because they can't ban e-bikes. They really can't. They said if you notice right here, it's an off-road e-bike ordinance. So how do they describe what is an off-road e-bike? Obviously, it's one that looks like this. It's one that looks like that. It's not going to be all e-bikes. It's not going to be big fat tire, 26-inch pedal style e-bikes. Anything with pedals, I'm sure, is going to be fine. Basically, if it looks like a Sur-Ron, you can't ride it in this city.
Up in the next hour. But for now, I want to get to what one local had to say about why this has become such an issue here in town. Here's some of his concerns.
Let's hear it.
Well, I do wish they'd actually stop at stop signs.
Here's the thing. I am honestly on the side of the people who want to stop kids from riding recklessly out here in the streets of the South Bay, because it is a nice place. It is peaceful. And the closest thing I personally can like relate to is people blowing by on scooters. I said this in the previous video, but like, it's not fun to be standing on foot and then having someone on a two-wheeled device blow past you, right? If I ever am on my Sur-Ron or something that's got a motor, I am sure to keep an eye out for people and to go slow if I need to navigate on the sidewalk around them. Just go slow. Like, that is as simple as that. And I think the problem that they're encountering out here is that the kids enjoy blowing past people, like going really fast past people. That's like part of the thrill for them. And I know it might sound stupid to like you or me or just about anyone who hears that, right? It's fun to go past people and like scare them. That's like part of the thrill they get. So that is, I think, where all this started. There's a bike path in Hermosa Beach. I'm sure we could actually even see it on Google Maps. So let's see if we can just street view it. Wow, this is like from 1980. This is 2008. This is like a 14-year-old. This is a very old street view. This is it. But like, I was expecting like a better image. Let's see if we can scroll somewhere where we can get a better shot. This looks terrible. Let's just go over here. There we go. So this is the path. where all the problems are starting. I don't think we can scroll a little further. But if you can imagine, there's a bike path right here that stretches past this dude stretching, and it goes up and down the beach, and it's actually really beautiful, right? And this is where the problems are starting, is kids shredding down this. I see it on Instagram all the time. I see kids hauling ass down this path and, you know, just swerving in between people. When you're a kid, you really don't have any like concept of consequence or the danger that you're putting yourself or anyone else in. So it's clear to see how kids are even getting into this situation in the first place. Obviously, this is an area where parents will buy their kids these bikes and spend like thousands of dollars on them just to give them something to do, because the parents probably have like really high paying, demanding jobs. And the kids, there's like no danger out here. There's nothing to worry about in the streets. There's no crime almost in Hermosa Beach at all. It's a very safe place. So it's like, just give the kid a powerful bike and just let him loose. Not my problem, right? I feel like that's kind of the thought process going on and how this is starting. So you get the kids on the bikes and then they end up here. They find other kids with the bikes and they ride together, and then they're in a pack and they get in the bike lane on the beach. That's how we're led to this.
I'm always afraid I'm going to clip some 12-year-old kid. We'll see what I see.
Right there, he says 12-year-old kid too, which I wouldn't be shocked if they were actually 12-year-old kids out here, which was starting this entire problem in the first place. It wouldn't surprise me if there's 12-year-old kids on e-bikes, Sur-Ron specifically. They had me saying e-bikes too, because they phrase the story as e-bikes just because that's a term that the general populace would understand. But it's not e-bikes, because this guy probably rides an e-bike. Tons of people out here ride e-bikes. Elderly people out in Hermosa Beach ride e-bikes. They don't want to ban e-bikes. They want to ban Sur-Ron specifically and bikes like that. So they're going for like they're going for a full-on ban on it. Anyways,
necessarily follow the rules.
So that guy doesn't like e-bikes.
Take a look at what these off-road style e-bikes look like if you are not
off-road style e-bikes. Another thing, they did not say that in the original story. There was no off-road asterisk about the e-bikes. They just considered them e-bikes. But this is what you can expect. There's actually some humorous images.
PD has impounded over a dozen of them in the past month. Yesterday, patrol officers.
So they said over a dozen in the past month. As you can see here, this is one of my actual fears is a motorcycle cop pulling you over, because they don't mess around. If you've ever had to deal with a motorcycle cop anywhere in the world, especially in LA though, if they stop you, you are getting a ticket. You definitely are. You just are. Or you get something bad is about to happen. There's no getting off with them. I've gotten away from tickets from police officers, not on a motorcycle cop. So this guy lost his bike, most likely, is what I would guess.
There's impounded four more on Pier Plaza. These bikes and the speed.
So they said up to about 16 bikes have been impounded. Another thing, right here, you can see Luna on the bash guard. This area, I think, is like, that's where Luna Cycle is. They're one of the biggest sellers of these off-road style bikes. So it's like they can just go down to the storefront, buy one, and then ride it out of the store back to their house. You know, so that's it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of them out here.
Going on them has become such an issue in the community that weeks ago, on May 22nd,
that's a nice color.
Hermosa Beach PD traffic investigators.
Look at this, dude. This actually had me kind of like. I actually kind of like, this is crazy. This is the method that they tow them with. I mean, it's actually like, it's pretty efficient. It's probably good to keep the bike safe too. Good on the tow truck operator for figuring out this method to tow these things without doing any damage. But it's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny that this is how you have to watch your bike getting towed away from you as you lose it from riding recklessly, or probably not. Like they said with the original story, the Stark Varg kid, they just went to his house afterwards. You know, Hermosa Beach is also a small town, so it's not out of the ordinary to imagine that they just know where all these kids live. They're just getting a list of all the kids they see who are getting problems with people reported, and they're just going to go to their houses one by one and take all their bikes.
Into juveniles who were recklessly riding through the city, causing damage throughout it. HBP.
Causing damage throughout it is kind of like, I don't know if I agree with that, because besides that one rolling burnout clip, I don't know if they would really find that many examples of causing damage. Now, here's the thing. I come from BMX riding, right? That is a sport where you do cause damage throughout the entire city, quite literally. Now that I'm a little bit older, it's easy to understand. Like, you're grinding things, you're leaving tire marks everywhere. Besides that one rolling burnout, I don't think it's fair to say they're causing damage throughout the entire city. If they're riding around like actually recklessly, like hitting stuff and breaking stuff and like kicking cars, that'd be one thing. But that would definitely be in the report, in this news report, if that was the case. But I don't think they have any reports of something like that. then it would like crack down immediately, right? There'd be no middle ground. They'd be like, all right, all you kids, you're getting your shit taken. It's over.
The investigators were able to
That
track
bike looks
down this
cool
video
too, I guess.
you're looking at now.
I like how they cut away so quick from this too. Look at this, dude. They cut away from this instantly. This is the one where it's like the editors were like, "Wait a second, that's not one of the e-bikes. There's an engine right there. This does not really fit the bill. That is not an e-bike. It's not even off-road. I mean, come on, dude. Who cut this one?
Looking at now and use technology to identify.
And this is the clip that started it all. We'll watch it again,
3
I guess.
days into the investigation, that juvenile and their guardian were served a citation at their home.
This clip went so viral too.
Impounded that e-bike.
Oh wait, listen to that.
That juvenile and their guardian were served a citation at their home. Investigators impounded that e-bike. The department warning families it is a pricey error to ride these bikes on the roads of Hermosa.
So they went to their house. They went to the kid's house and impounded the bike and gave him a citation. So whatever the citation was, it's probably a couple $100, right? I mean, who actually knows how much it was, but that just shows that they are like that bike that they're impounding. Look, it has no plate, so they just knew where the kid was. Like it probably is not hard to find any of these kids if they really wanted to take all their bikes.
Hermosa Beach, keep them for designated off-road trails. HBPD going.
That's another catch-22. I'm sorry, I pause in every 2 seconds, but that they say keep them to off-road trails, but the other part of it is there are no off-road trails I think you can ride these bikes on anywhere around there in Hermosa Beach. You will get immediately stopped by a park ranger. There's like Bologna Creek wetlands. I think that's nearby. There's Palos Verdes Golf Course, two the most off-road areas that I could think of, and you will immediately get impounded there too. You'll get stopped even faster. They will not have any leeway on you out there, actually. So they want them completely out of the city. That's what they're really saying in a roundabout way. Like, do not ride them here at all.
On social media and writing this.
Any parent who is considering purchasing a $5,000 vehicle like one of these for your child, we encourage you to stop by our station and speak with one of our traffic officers about where they can be used, AKA let us talk you out of this before you waste your money and we just take it back from you. That's what they're really saying. Don't buy one of these bikes if you live here, you know? And if you do, we don't ever want to see it on the streets anywhere around here. That's what they're really saying right there.
In regards to the ordinance put in place immediately will come to you from me in the next couple of hours.
So they don't have any info on the actual ordinance. I'm going to assume we'll do another video if they update what the ordinance is, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they're just going to say no off-road e-bike riding, and they'll probably have a picture of exactly what they're talking about because that's kind of like generalized off-road e-bike. It's kind of, there's a lot of different types of styles of bikes that could fall under that category that a lot of people out here probably ride, like Super 73s. That's when they're going to get themselves in even more trouble if there's like a dad who's just riding a Super 73 and then he gets cited and they take his bike. That's when it's actually going to, that won't happen though, right? It's only about the kids. It's only about the kids riding them. So I don't know. Where do you guys fall in this story? It's kind of like, it's right there in between, right? It's very 50-50. Are you on the side of the kids who want to ride recklessly, or maybe they're not all riding recklessly, but now they're lumped in with the kids that do. You can't have fun with it at all. And maybe if you're an adult who rides a Sur-Ron out there, you're screwed too. They're going to see you and be like, hey, come here. Give us your bike. Here's your ticket. Have a nice day. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let me know down there.